Investigators believe that the assassination of two NYPD cops was a revenge killing for the death of Eric Garner. But could Muslim convert Ismaaiyl Brinsley's act also have been inspired by ISIS? Back in September, a law enforcement bulletin warned that lone wolves could be inspired by the Islamic State to commit attacks within the United States, particularly against serving military officers. Then just a month later, we saw another recent Islamic convert attack NYPD officers on a street in Queens with an axe. Subsequently, he was shot dead. Now we know that Brinsley posted this message on his Instagram account hours before the slaughter. Let's take two of theirs, shoot the police, RIP Eric Garner, RIP Mike Brown. So one of the motives was obviously a revenge killing for the deaths of Garner and Brown. But other social media posts that Brinsley made have not received as much attention. In particular, this picture of a page out of the Quran, which Brinsley posted on his Facebook profile back in March, which urged Muslims to, quote, strike terror into the hearts of the enemies of Allah, which was also a passage cited by ISIS propagandists in their encouragement for lone wolf terror attacks to be carried out within the United States. And within weeks of that ISIS propaganda being released, we saw the attack on the Canadian Parliament by a radicalized Muslim convert. We also saw another Muslim convert, Martin Couture-Rouleau, mow down two Canadian police officers in his car, quote, in the name of Allah, killing one of them. The perpetrator behind the Sydney hostage crisis, Haroun Monis, also demanded an ISIS flag during the siege and told hostages that he was attacking Australia on behalf of ISIS. Video has also emerged of Brinsley, the NYPD cop killer, at a Muslim burial ceremony in which he discusses how all of life is a preparation for death. So given the fact that Brinsley was a recent Muslim convert, that he quoted extreme passages out of the Quran, that he was filmed at Muslim burial ceremonies, given these other recent incidents in the West, also in Australia, with lone wolves attacking police officers, attacking soldiers, taking hostages in cafes, weeks after ISIS encouraged this very kind of behaviour, could Brinsley, the NYPD cop killer, have also been inspired by ISIS? Not saying that he's a member of ISIS, merely that he's been inspired by ISIS propaganda, the biggest recruiting tool for which has been the mainstream media and its constant repetition of the deadly threat posed by ISIS. So whether that threat is real or not, it appears that now we're seeing lone wolves in the West, inspired by that propaganda, carrying out attacks. And as to the broader point of what lay behind the tragic murder of these two NYPD officers, I emphasised again and again during the Ferguson riots and the other protests around the country that these had been hijacked by radical elements and that they were discrediting legitimate opposition to the genuine issue of police brutality. So if you protest police brutality with brutality, you're only going to create more police brutality. Yet what did we see in New York after the Ferguson verdict? We saw New York anti-police state protesters chanting for the death of cops. We had Michael Brown supporters all over Twitter expressing their desire to see Darren Wilson and other police officers killed. And now we're seeing once again people all over Twitter celebrating the fact that these two NYPD officers were shot in the head. Shout out to the dude that smoked NYPD. Smoked pork. The two NYPD pigs have kicked the bucket and are on their way to hell. There's no justice in USA except when cops get shot in the head. These are real people with real Twitter accounts calling the murderer a legend. Look at this one. Eat my okra. Did 2 cops just die, or do young black men have 2 more chances at life? Stay positive, guys. Right, so every single NYPD officer is out to kill black men. That's the logic behind that tweet. Shout out to the homie who shot those cops in Brooklyn. Yay! Shooting people in the head. NYPD gets what they deserve. You see how this rhetoric is just inflaming tensions on both sides. Karma, they're calling it. Justice. Look at these tweets. These are actual tweets. Everybody mad 2 cops died. This is unbelievable. It just goes on and on and on. Literally. And this is just a sampling. 2 cops should die every Saturday to make shit legit. Yay, let's go out and kill people, shoot them in the head. That's going to get justice. When actually, all it does is this. The NYPD has declared it's wartime. They're now on a war footing as a result of the murder of these 2 officers. So again, as I've said all along to the people who tried to escalate this into cop-hating, racism and violence, we're not addressing the cause of the problem of violence within both the black community and the police community, which is the only way we're going to solve this problem. We're not going to solve this problem by threatening to kill each other and then lunatics actually going out and acting on that propaganda. This is just going to escalate violence on both sides and everybody's going to lose out. So, well done to Time magazine, who basically venerated the looters in Ferguson, said it was a justifiable response. Well done to the Mike Brown supporters who said people should burn this bitch down in protest at the decision. And well done to the Ferguson protesters who marched in New York calling for cops to be killed. What have you achieved? A boy spending Christmas without his father because he's been shot in the head by some freaking lunatic. Well done, everybody. Give yourselves a round of applause. Because according to this memo, which allegedly has emerged from within a police union, the NYPD is now on a wartime footing as a result of these murders, which will only lead to more police brutality and more innocent black people and others being killed. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is Paul Joseph Watson reporting for Infowars.com.